All right, today we're going to discuss the lesson plan that me and my group have created. So basically, we're trying to see how linear functions can be used to solve problems to model a real-world situation. Skills that the students are going to need is understanding y equals mx plus b, having a good understanding of the coordinate plane and how to plot ordered pairs, and rate of change. So the content focus is to analyze and solve linear equations, create a graph to describe real-world situations, having the x and y axis be the independent variables, and then to analyze different characteristics of the slope. These are the two standards that it follows. This is an 8th grade lesson. So they're really learning about linear equations. So in this lesson, the student will be able to describe the slope characteristics of parallel lines, and we're going to assess this by putting them into groups and seeing how that group came up with the graph of the linear equation. And then we're going to use linear relationships to predict the financial cost of smoking. And we're going to do this by walking around the room, monitoring, seeing if the students understand the lesson and what we asked of them. And then give contextual meaning to the x and y intercepts in a linear graph. So in this case, the x-intercept and y-intercept, one's going to represent the independent variable and one's going to represent the dependent variable, and understanding how they correlate to one another. For this lesson, they need to be able to reason and analyze abstractively and quantitatively when using linear relations to predict the financial cost of smoking. What that means is abstractly means to kind of create a graph without understanding the idea of linear relationships, and quantitatively is knowing the formula and plotting the y equals mx plus b on the graph. And this is what they need to understand to be able to participate in this activity. They need to understand the slope, the y-intercept, the x-intercept, coordinate planes, x-y axis, etc. For this, they're going to need the packet that we give them. They're going to need whiteboards, a handout on slope-intercept form, and rulers to plot their graph. They should be familiar with, before y equals mx plus b, graphing, slopes. Right now they're learning about parallel lines, so they do not need to be too familiar with that. In the previous lesson before this, we kind of talked about what the m and the b means, and how it relates to the graph of the slope. So as in the m being the actual slope of the line, and b being what the y-intercept is. And the purpose of this learning is to estimate the average cost of smoking per year, seeing how many purchases correlates with the amount of money that you will spend. So we're going to start this out by asking students to estimate the average cost they think it costs to smoke per year. And then we're going to give them our own graph to create. So what we're going to do is we're going to first review Rise Over Run, and then we're going to say, okay, the x-axis is the years in which you're purchasing smoking, and then the y-axis, which is the dependent variable, is the cost. Then we're going to, for the students that are EL learners or have learning disabilities, we're going to give them a handout that they can look over while I'm explaining the instructions. And then we're going to put the students into groups for the guided instructional practice. And here they're going to work with their groups to create a graph representing the cost per year it costs to smoke, assuming that a pack of cigarettes costs $5. And then they're going to take lecture notes, And then we're going to discuss as a group what they found, talk about independent parallel lines and exponential growth. And we're finally going to conclude this by asking students, just thinking about all the other expenses and what they could buy and why you should discourage students to smoke. So that's the lesson.